Let's talk about books, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about all the big books and the small books we can read. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about books. Let's talk about books. Hey, y'all, what's up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ola. I am an artist, library worker, and yeah, I'm the creator and director of a social art project called the Free Black Women's Library. You already know what time it is. You've been here. Thank you for clicking on this video, by the way. Thank you for liking this video. Thumbs up. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. So yeah, on this channel, I talk about books, movies, and TV shows I'm really into and excited about. And today I'm going to talk to you about books, of course. Y'all heard the song. Y'all know what time it is. So let's get into it. We got some books in at the Free Black Women's Library this week. And I want to talk to y'all about them because some of them are really, really cool. And you might want to read them. Let me know in comments if you are familiar with these authors, if you read these books. Let's get into it. All right. Enough of the jibber jabber, enough of the chit chat, enough of the rambling. Let's get into today's what do they call it? Book haul. All right. So the first book I'm gonna talk to y'all about is this one. It's called How to Wrestle a Girl. And it is a collection of short stories written by Vanita Blackburn. Another book that she has out is called Black Jesus and Other Superheroes. But How to Wrestle a Girl is a really fun, dynamic, radical, interesting, experimental collection of short stories that are written in very different ways. I really enjoy this short story collection. I tend to gravitate towards short story collections and personal essay collections because I feel like they make for good, for developing a good reading praxis, because you can get into one piece a week, even one piece a day, depending on what type of reader you are. And these are really fun. It's described as a tender, tough, and often hilarious collection of short stories. And it shakes loose a vision of girlhood that is raw and never at ease. Blackburn's characters are hyper aware of their bodies and distrustful of the world, fending off the failures and advances of those around them who practice indifference and quiet courage. This book is really fun and it's really different, and I highly recommend it. So, yeah, How to Wrestle a Girl by Vanita Blackburn, short story collection. So, the next book that we got in this week is called Unfollow Me, and it's by Jill Louise Busby, Essays on Complicity. I have not read this book, but I am familiar with Jill because she is a social media person that I think I follow. I'm not sure if I follow her or not, but I've definitely seen her across my feed. I think it's very interesting these days how there's a bunch of stuff in my feed that I can get caught up in. So these days, I try not to be on social media too much because I feel like it does end up being like a vacuum of time. Just like I go to look at one little video and then it's 3 hours later. So as a result, I try not to be on there too much because time is one of our most valuable resources, she says as she rambles on and on about something that has nothing to do with what she's supposed to be talking about. An intimate, impertinent, and incisive collection on race, progress, and hypocrisy from cultural commentator Jill Louise Busby, aka Jill is Black. Unfollow Me is a memoir and essays about tokenism, microfame, and inhabiting spaces real and virtual, Black and white, where complicity is the price of admittance. This sounds kind of deep. I don't, yeah, social media, it's giving like social media critique, commentary, cultural, social commentary. Very funny, very smart, very witty. It says razor sharp critique of white fragility, respectability politics, and so on. So that's Unfollow Me. And it looks like a pretty small book. So I think this would be a quick read. And I'm a little bit curious about it. And whenever there's a Black girl on the cover of a book, I feel like that's a green flag for me. So that's Unfollow Me by Jill Louise Busby. The next book that we got in is called Corregidora, and it's by Gail Jones. Now, I have read Corregidora multiple times. Gail Jones is definitely one of my favorite authors. She is deep. Her writing career is very deep, and Corregidora is it's an intense book. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. If you are the type of person who believes in trigger warnings, I would definitely say trigger warning for misogynoir and gender violence. But kind of heavy subject matter happening in this book. It was first published by Toni Morrison, and this is Gail Jones's debut novel. Now, y'all might already know that Toni Morrison worked as an editor for Random House. So this is one of the books that came out in her steed, Corregidora. Gail Jones also wrote a book called The Birdcatcher. She wrote a book called The Healing. Very prolific author. I think she's got about 7 books out at this point. Mosquito, Eva's Man. Yeah. So that's Gail Jones. Read with caution, heavy subject matter. So just take your time with this one. Especially if you're like a sensitive person, take your time. This is the story of a blues singer named Ursa. Who goes through some stuff. And that's all I'll say because I don't want to spoil it for y'all. And I also don't want to talk for too long. So next book that we're going to talk about is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. I have not read Before I Let Go, but I know that it's a huge hit in these romance streets. I have read This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan, and I really enjoyed it. And I've heard amazing things about Before I Let Go. And Kennedy Ryan in general, like she is that girl. When it comes to romance, Black contemporary romance, you have Kennedy Ryan, you have Tia Williams, you have Jasmine Guillory, and they're just like boom, 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 dominating that whole field. But I see the girls on the socials talking about Kennedy Ryan and talking about Before I Let Go and talking about the tears, the crying, the emotions that they got swept up in this story. And one of the themes in this story is grief. I know that even though I haven't read it, I know that there's a grief theme happening here just from what I've read online. And I want to read it, but I'm not ready to read a story that centers grief right now because I'm grieving. It's November. I lost 2 people in November. So, but this is on my TBR, and I'll probably try to read it in the summertime when I'm feeling a little bit more lighthearted. So, yes, Before I Let Go, Kennedy Ryan. Next book, We Are Never Meeting in Real Life by Samantha Irby. This is a collection of essays by Samantha Irby. There is her picture right there. And this is one of the funniest writers out there, in my opinion. I don't have the best sense of humor. I will say that. But this book, Samantha Irby, is so funny. Like, this is one of those books that had me laughing out loud. She is hilarious. It says, with heartfelt candor and her usual side-splitting bite, inimitable humorist, essayist, and blogger at bitchesgottaeat.com, Samantha Irby captures powerful emotional truths while chronicling the disaster that has been her life. An ill-fated pilgrimage and romantic vacation to Nashville to scatter her estranged father's ashes, awkward sexual encounters, a bachelorette application gone awry, and more. Sometimes you just have to laugh, even when your life is a dumpster fire. We Are Never Meeting in Real Life by Samantha Irby. She has 3 essay collections, and each one of them has like this wild cover, and each one of them is just funny, funny, funny. She's a funny girl. She's got a great sense of humor, and she knows how to turn these kind of sad, awful situations into these humorous moments. She's got a wonderful Substack, which I'm subscribed to as well. So yeah, Samantha Irby is great. So if you're looking for something lighthearted, it's gonna have you chuckle and also be really real at the same time, I would definitely check Samantha Irby out. Check her out. Next book that we got in this week is called Conjuring the Calabash. Conjuring the Calabash, Empowering Women with Hoodoo Spells and Magic. Shout out to all the witches out there. We love to see it. This book is written by Mawiya Kai El Jama Bomani. Not sure if I said her name correctly, but that is the author's name as best as I can say it. And this book is categorized under magic studies and hoodoo. Conjuring the Calabash. It says this book is about Black girl magic, queer girl magic, straight girl magic, trans magic, bisexual magic. It's about giving yourself the power to be fierce, authentic, and apologetic. This guide to magical spirituality empowers you to take back the power to heal and shine under your own strength. Written by an accomplished hoodoo practitioner, Conjuring the Calabash features spells, recipes, and rituals that help you rise out of the constrictions around you. Sounds powerful. Shout out to all the witches out there. This might be something for you. I haven't read this book, but I'm intrigued. I am most definitely intrigued. I'm a big fan of rituals and so on and so forth like that. So she says, rubbing her hands together. I might want to check that one out. Next book that I would like to show y'all is called Assata Taught Me. Assata Taught Me. State Violence, Racial Capitalism, and the Movement for Black Lives. This book is written by Donna Murch, who I looked up, and it says that she's a Panther scholar, which means that she has studied the Black Panther Party extensively and Black movements in general, Black political movements in general. Assata Taught Me offers a fresh historical perspective on the 50 years since the founding of the Black Panther Party, during which the United States has built the world's largest police state. You got that right. Yeah. So this is giving like a history of political movements and Black nationalist movements. The title of this collection, she says, has a double meaning. Yeah, and here she describes herself as a Black Panther historian. So we get into Black liberation in 1968. We get into the militarization of the police and the war on drugs. We get into Ferguson and the movement in Ferguson, the rebellion, the uprising that took place at Ferguson. And we get into how race made the opioid crisis, the movement for Black lives. Yeah, she's going in. She's going in. She's giving us the history. She's giving us the tea. And this is published by Haymarket Books, which Haymarket, they definitely put noteworthy texts out there when it comes to political theory, racism, capitalism, abolition, ideas around building better worlds, better systems, critical studies of the systems. So yeah, Assata Taught Me by Donna Murch. Check it out. Check it out, check it out, check it out. All right. Last book is one that I'm really excited about. It's called A Fighting Dream, The political writings of Claudia Jones. What? What y'all know about Claudia Jones? Badass activist, writer, cultural worker, rebel rouser, freedom teller, feminist. Claudia Jones was most definitely that girl. And this is a collection of her pieces. I'm going to read this ASAP. ASAP. Claudia Jones stood at many crossroads. Her world was one of heated battles for Black liberation, of anti-fascism in the buildup to World War II, of national liberation struggles across the global South, of the US government persecuting her and her comrades for their activism and membership in the Communist Party. And as a Black woman, she was also determined to bring to light how race and gender are embedded and essential to the struggles of the working class. At a time when the hegemony of imperialism and capitalism remains strong, while new contradictions and signs of struggle arise, Jones' political writings are a lesson in identifying the most urgent tasks for moving socialism, the political project of the working class forward. From her poetry to newspaper articles to pamphlets to speeches, this reader, as in this book, brings us Claudia Jones as she was, unrelenting, fearless, and a communist. Claudia Jones challenges us all to stand with our principles, to build organization, and to clearly see how understanding the intersectional aspects of our struggle is crucial for the liberation of humanity and the planet. Yes, Claudia Jones. I'm excited about this one. It includes her essays, her articles, some poems, her work, her life. I don't know if y'all already know, but Claudia Jones was kicked out of the country. She was kicked out of America for her work. So she was definitely that girl, most definitely. I think more people need to know about her and her work, especially when it comes to having a global viewpoint of Black feminism, misogynoir, intersectionality, and so on. So these are all the books we got in this week. As you can see, the collection is very diverse. Short stories, essays, novels, hoodoo, humor, and political power. Political power. So yeah, that's it, y'all. Thanks for watching this video if you've watched the whole thing. And once again, please feel free to leave me a comment. Let me know what books you're reading and let me know what books from this pile you would want to read. If you could read any one of these books right now, let me know in comments which one you would pick. All right. Thanks for watching. Ciao.